Guys, welcome to this video. Otto here from Acquisition Partner. What I'm going to do today, guys, in this video is show you exactly how we've been getting 100% open rates on our campaign outreach emails over the last 7 days. Now, we get pretty good open rates anyway. We're normally in around sort of the 90 to 100% open rate initially from across the board anyway. But what I want to do is just show you a breakdown of exactly what we've been doing. And I want to do this so that it simplifies your cold email outreach, because there's a lot of noise and there's a lot of speculation about the best send times and how many emails in a sequence you should send and how many emails a month you should send. And there's a lot of commentary on a range of different variables that I think can actually add a lot more confusion than it can clarity for launching email campaigns. I know when I first started, my business and launching these cold email campaigns, getting stuck in the weeds and thinking that you don't understand, every single aspect before you launch can actually do a lot of damage to your business. It can keep you in that analysis paralysis phase. Okay, so it's better to be sending out some sort of emails and generating some sort of touch points with your prospective clients than it is to try and learn everything from scratch and not actually launch anything. So 100% open rates over the last 7 days, okay, for 2.4 emails sent. We don't use opportunities here. We actually sync all of our positive responses through Zapier into our CRM. Click rate's pretty good. Reply rates here are not too bad either. I believe this was for one of the new offers we've got as well, so it's somewhat of a test, but open rates wise, showing that our subject lines are hitting. So the way that I'm going to show you how you can do this, okay, is through setting up subsequences. Now, if you are sending out cold emails, and what I'll do is just zoom in here, you first things first need an email service provider. Okay, so a lot of you guys will be using Instantly. If you're not using Instantly, it's pretty much the best cold email outreach platform that we've used over the last 5.5 years in our business. And within your ESP, whatever one you use, what you're going to do is set up each campaign. And then what we do within our business is we segment all of our campaigns based on a number of different variables. Okay, so the offer that we are promoting or eventually promoting, the location, whether it's the UK, US, New Zealand, Australia, whatever it might be, size of the company, and that's typically correlating to employee size. So whether that's 1 to 10 or 10 to 50 or 50 to 100, whatever it might be. DM stands for decision maker here, and then oftentimes we will get pretty granular in terms of how we're targeting each of our individual leads, and we'll check what tech they're actually running on their websites, whether they're using Klaviyo or Magento or whatever it might be. It's going to help us to personalize our outreach. Okay, so the next step here is to build out your sequences. Okay, not rocket science. It's just the next step of launching these campaigns. Within each sequence, you're going to have individual emails. You're going to have more than one. Because you are not going to get a response from every single lead that you reach out to from the first email. And then within each email, you obviously have the copy that you have to negotiate and figure out what to do with. Okay, so what we found is that typically wait times between emails, it needs to look as natural as possible. Okay, so cold email in 2023 is a different kettle of fish to what it was during the pandemic and actually pre-pandemic. Okay, so what you're probably finding now is that a lot of people are, of those who are responding to your cold emails that you're sending out, they're probably coming back in a large percentage of the time wondering whether you are actually a real person, whether you're AI or you're some sort of bot. A lot of the responses that we see our clients getting is literally, are you a bot? Are you an AI bot? Okay, and that didn't exist 24 months ago, 12 months ago. It didn't exist in the pandemic. You might still get your negative responses or no responses at all. But people are becoming a lot more skeptical to cold emails. And that's why it's so important to know exactly what you're doing with them. Okay, so what we've found is that keeping things simple, keeping things natural, keeping things human as possible is the way to guarantee these open rates. We send one email out, so whether this for a client that we're working with or to get our own clients. And what you find in the first email is that you have to keep things brief, incorporating a humble brag, and also avoiding entering any links is what works best. Okay, so in your email signature, don't have a link to your website, don't have a phone number, don't share any case studies with a link. Just don't put a link or a URL, live URL into the copy of your first email. It's going to affect your deliverability. A lot of the email platforms like Gmail or Outlook are probably going to flag the email as spam or phishing, okay, and that's something we want to avoid. So the first email should just be, what we do and what we advise is keeping it to almost one sentence, okay, and it's incredibly difficult to do. Sounds easy, but how do you sum up your business, your value prop, and why the prospect who's receiving your email should actually pay attention? How do you actually do that in one sentence? It takes practice. It's something that we can help you guys out with if you need that, but it's something we recommend, okay. So a natural human email is something along the lines of like, hey, first name, and then literally keep it incredibly brief to one sentence only. And we've got scripts as well that if you're interested, drop a comment below, and I'll share a Google Doc with everyone with all of our scripts for this too. What we find too is a humble brag works. So in the first, in this sentence, it always helps to drop in a client name or a result that you've got. Okay, so reason reaching out for you is we've worked with a competitor of yours, helped them do over 70 million last year. Wanted to see if you're interested in us discussing how we might be able to do the same for you. Okay, so you keep it very simple. You're putting in kind of a whisper, like a secretive, humble brag there, enough to hook them and pique their interest. Okay, so the next thing that you want to do is obviously follow up that email. Okay, so the second email, 3 days later, that's where we share a CTA. That's where we offer a time and link. What you want to do here is you want to give them the illusion of choice. Okay, so what you don't want to do, especially if you've got no social proof or any online following, is go to them and say, "Here's my calendar, book a time in it." Okay, you want to make it easy for the prospect to respond and act in a way that leads to your favoured outcome. Okay, so give them 2 times, give them the illusion of choice, and they'll pick one. Okay, so we do a lot of our sales calls. The calls that I take, I do them in the afternoon after my focus work in the morning. So I'll typically say, do you have 6 to 8 minutes, 2:30 p.m. tomorrow or at 3, and see what they come back with. Okay, 9 times out of 10 they'll pick a time, and you can go back and share your diary invite. Okay, so the next point here is to wait 2 days, email 3, and is a follow-up. Okay, so again, case studies, links, reiterate your hook, reiterate your message. Okay, relatively simple here, but I'm going to get to the meat on the bone now. Okay, so what you're looking to do is generate a response. Okay, so what you're not trying to do in the first email is close a client. Okay, so oftentimes we will see people that are struggling with their cold emails. They'll be sending a huge essay. We've worked with so-and-so case studies. We make this money. We'll do this for you. You should work with us, blah, blah, blah. And they're hoping that in one email, they're going to close the client. The client's going to come back and miraculously say, "You're the best thing I've ever seen since sliced bread, and we want to pay you all our money, and let's sign a contract now." Okay, you've got to calm down. You've got to slow down. You've got to understand that really the core to closing any client is increasing the number of touch points that you can have with them before you ask for the close. Okay, so what we're looking for goals wise is just a response. Okay, positive, negative, indifferent, neutral, doesn't matter. All we're looking for is engagement. Okay, and this is where subsequences come in. So Instantly has a tool here called a subsequence. All right, so instead of manually responding to all of your leads, so if they come back and say, "Leave me alone, I hate you, unsubscribe," or "No, we're not interested," or indifferent, negative, "No, we're kind of interested, not really, speak to us in 12 months, whether they're out of office, maybe you've got through to the wrong person, and then indeed if they've come back in a positive way and actually do want to book a call with you. All right, so you need a scenario to automate all of your follow-up and responses to all of this. This is where Instantly's subsequences come in. Okay, so what we've been able to do is kind of hone down 5 subsequence responses here to that basically can cater for all of the types of replies that you'll get back from your prospect. Okay, so we've got one here for the wrong person. So if somebody comes back and says, "Hey," or it's a automated respondent, it says, "I no longer work here, you need to respond to this person's email," we've got a subsequence response for that. We've got a response here for positive, so we sort of focus on that principle of speed to lead. Although we come back with a time and confirmation of the call, we want to immediately go back to them once they've sent us a positive response, saying, "Got your message, going to come back to you in full." Okay, so you're increasing those touch points at every single point. You could overlook this. You could think, why would I just send a random email? It doesn't really serve a purpose. I promise you, if you increase the number of touch points with your prospects throughout this process, it's going to help increase your close rates. Okay, so just scrolling down quickly, and like I say, guys, if you want scripts to all of these, just let me know in the comments, and I'll literally share the Google Doc with you so you can copy and paste them. Out of office, again, you're going to get a lot of out of offices, and Instantly as well. What you can do is actually categorize the out of offices with their automations here. So you can select here, out of office, and what that can do as well when you put them through to Okay, we don't have a subsequence for this lead, but if that lead was to come through in this campaign here, we would put them into a subsequence, and again, increases that touch point, and then we put a note down here when we reply to follow up in a week or however long we want to follow up in. Okay, so just lastly, negative, and then unsubscribe. Okay, and oftentimes you will get a negative response. On my Twitter page, I've got a video about a client that came back to me with an incredibly negative response a couple of years back, and we turned them into, I think it was over £36,000 in cash collected. Okay, so don't take negative responses to heart. All right, so what I want to do here, guys, is just jump over to some common issues, and I'm going to keep this video just to the next 60 seconds here. But if you're having an issue with your open rates, and again, look, we've got 100% open rates over the last 7 days, 2.4 emails sent. Here are some bullets on how you're able to troubleshoot some of your common issues. All right, so one of the issue might be that you're getting negative responses and you're not following them up. You're taking them personally. You're not putting them into subsequences. You take a lead or a prospect's first answer as the ultimate answer, and oftentimes you need to understand that if they've come back to you with any sort of response, they are showing a willingness to engage in some sort of way. Okay, so it's the ones that don't respond that are the hardest to close. The ones that come back with something negative are a lot easier to build a dialogue with and eventually close. It might take more time, but it's something that you need to make sure you're doing. Okay, so not following up is an issue. Speed to lead. Okay, so maybe you are getting leads to come back and they're positive. They're saying, yeah, absolutely, let's book a call. And you're taking 24 hours, 2 days, 4 days, 5 days to come back and share a diary invite. In that time, something's taken over in their business. There's another fire for them to put out. You need to come back to them quickly, give them the time, make it easy for your prospect to speak to you, reduce all the friction. Don't leave them with an empty calendar link with an indefinite number of time slots. Tell them what time you're going to speak and give them the diary invite. Too many links in the first email we've talked about. Copy is too long. Keep it brief. Okay, what's the problem with being with having brevity, with going straight to the point? Business owners and indeed high value CEOs, they don't have time to read through a load of waffle. Okay, so just write a very short, snappy hook and a CTA, and that's all you need. Okay, again, no clear CTA. So every time that you have correspondence with a lead, whether it's through cold email or a sales call or in your DMs, always keep it front of mind. It's something that I train myself to do, and I think, what is the outcome for this conversation? Okay, and that question is nuanced. It's not what can I get from this person out of this call. It is genuinely, what is the outcome? Why are we talking? Okay, so some prospects will just willingly talk to you and talk to you and talk to you forever. And if you entertain that and listen and entertain that and don't direct or influence the conversation, it's going to lead to a massive amount of waste time for both of you. Okay, so move quickly, speed to lead, and focus on brevity, and make sure it's easy for your prospects to get to work to your desired outcome here. Sender name doesn't match account, no profile image, and using GIFs or bad grammar in the emails. Okay, so if you're sending from your email, otto@acquisitionpartner.io, and you've not got a profile image, and actually when people go to acquisitionpartner.io, it goes to some 404 webpage or random website, all of these elements are going to basically chip away at the trust that you're trying to build with your prospect. So make sure you're changing those. There's 1,000,001 other things that we can do to kind of help you troubleshoot deliverability. And if you've got any specific deliverability questions or issues, just drop them in the comments below. I'd be happy to either myself or get my team to help answer those. Not verifying emails. Maybe you're drawing emails down from a B2B platform like Apollo that allegedly should be verifying emails, and you're actually failing to run them through a secondary email verifier like Bulk Email Checker, which is what we use for our business. So you're sending out a large majority of emails that are landing in spam and affecting your bounce rates. Wrong company name we've talked about, and perhaps you're being incorrectly specific. So you're mentioning their company name in the wrong way. You've mentioned that they work in healthcare, but actually they work in the medical niche. You're not being nuanced enough in the body copy of your emails. All right, guys, so just under 15 minutes that video. Look, you're going to have 1,000,001 issues with email deliverability, especially with the more volume that you're sending out. But if you've got any questions, just let me know. Hopefully this video has helped just to decodify a little bit what we're doing. Said it in the past videos, we've got we don't sell any paid courses here at Acquisition Partner. We've got a free course that's going to help you get your first 100K paying client within 5 days. loads of other free resources on the website, Discord group, Facebook community too that you can check out. All right, guys, until the next one, best of luck with what you're doing, and we'll speak soon. Cheers.